welcome to the Western Woman Podcast. I have Miss Amrita here, also known as Alisa Abdullaiba or Alisa Ayurveda on TikTok. And full disclosure, I've been taking Amrita's courses for probably about 2 years now. And to see the transformation in my life going from hustle queen, girl boss kind of mentality to now stay-at-home mom, working on my feminine energy is kind of crazy because I never thought that that would really be me in the long term. So I do want to start with saying thank you for that. And thank you so much for agreeing to do this podcast in the middle of your retreat in Turkey.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. And I guess the first question that I wanted to ask you, just to really get this started, is what does a Western woman look like to you?
This is a great question because I was in your shoes, Gabriela. I was working full time, taking care of myself, paying bills, saving money to buy a house. And so I was the Western woman that was living life, thinking that the happiness is in the material world, getting the career going, achieving success in my private practice, making more money so I can be independent, successful, and say that yes, I have a house in this neighborhood, I have a car, and I can travel anywhere I want to. So to me, a Western woman is a woman who is go-getter, career-oriented, money-oriented, wants to get her degree, wants to achieve success, whether she'll have her own business, whether she will be working for corporate America. And in the process, she degrades more and more into the masculine energy, violating herself. Because even if she will achieve all of these goals and success, financial success, career success, what it's costing her is her emotional, physical well-being, and most importantly, her relationship with herself and her current or future partner. And I would not even call it a partner, man, who will be her future husband, because I don't really believe in partnership at all, because men and women are not really designed to be partners. And so I was in those shoes, in Western woman's shoes, for majority of my 20s and even early 30s, and I saw the impact on me, where my physical health, my emotional health deteriorated, and I was going from chiropractor to physical therapist and massage therapist. And things were going downhill for me emotionally, psychologically, and on physiological realm. And only when I started my journey into femininity and spirituality, that shifted. But that is a different question. So that's who, to me, a Western woman, success, goal-oriented, money-oriented, finance-oriented, and not seeing that that's costing her relationship to herself and relationship to a man.
No, most definitely. There's a lot of criticisms that I know you and I resonate on with the Western society, whether it's the United States or Western Europe and other parts. I would even lump Latin America under that too, being Latina, because it's funny, when I talk to other Latinas, I think they feel that because there's still a pretty strong sense of family values, that they don't fall under the issues of Western society, but they do, and I'm one of them. And even though I have a lot of criticisms, I still feel like I'm the epitome of a Western woman, you know? I'm born and raised in the US, my family's Latino, I went after a lot of these success accolades that you were just mentioning. And even though I'm transitioning to wanting to be more feminine and staying with my family and making them the priority, my relationship and my new son who's 6 months old, there's still a lot of Western privileges that I feel I'm able to, I guess, benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I guess both of us, you know, we live in the Western world.
Yes.
And there's of course issues that we have to battle.
Yes.
But how do you feel you balance being able to benefit from those Western privileges, maybe even conveniences you could call them?
Yes, give me the examples of the benefits of the Western world to you.
So-
What are they?
I see benefits, but I also see where there's some issues. So something that my husband and I talk a lot about, especially after traveling to more Eastern countries now, is things are very convenient in the Western world. As far as, I even had a cousin that came to the US for the first time, and she was like, wow, like the concept of drive-thrus, like to get fast food, or to even, we picked up prescription medication one day through a drive-thru, and she was like, wow, like that's so convenient, like you don't have to wait on this long line, and sometimes in certain countries that things are out of stock a lot. And so we have this overabundance and a lot of comfortability, but sometimes when you're too comfortable, that can turn into a weakness at the same time. So like that's just one example of something that my husband and I see in the Western world. We definitely benefit from these conveniences, but we see how they can make us too comfortable.
Well, I would not even think about the benefits of, let's say, drive-through, because we never eat fast food.
Sure. Yeah.
And I would say we would not be even thinking about medicine and pharmacy if we're living right here in this beautiful town. Because we wake up, we go for a run, we do the meditation, we do askeza, we do yoga, and we're in front of Mediterranean Sea. When we eat breakfast, we eat organic tomatoes, organic cucumbers, oranges that are grown everywhere here, figs, persimmons, pomegranates, all of the things that you eat, majority of it, including the fish, it's from the Mediterranean Sea.
Which is right there, by the way.
Yeah, look, 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
And it's your lifestyle here. And eating organic food, and not organic that we think that we're eating organic food in the United States, it's really 10% organic, or 20 at the most. So nothing is really purified and organic and healthy. And the way you are planting your own fruits and your own vegetables, you picking it up, you are cooking, and you living this laid-back style. So it's an illusion that we have a convenient lifestyle there, but we're sitting in traffic, we're stressed, trying to deliver all of the promises at work, where we work in corporate America or somewhere. And so the stress is accumulated, eating unhealthy food and not having a healthy lifestyle, living in the nature, really, living in the buildings where there's a lot of cars driving by. We don't have strong connection to nature like we do here. And so that's where our illnesses kicks in, because we're overworking, we're stressed, we're living a busy life, we're overworking. And that's why we need all of the pharmacies.
Yeah.
Here, there's no hospital in this town. You have to drive 45 minutes because it's very rare when people get sick.
Yeah.
Because they're living a very healthy lifestyle. It comes with the food. All the time, people are meeting each other for dinner, for lunches. They get together, they interact, they talk. They're not lonely, they're not isolated, and they're definitely not working. Even people who are the owners of this hotel, they're living a laid-back lifestyle. They're enjoying this work, watering the gardens, greeting the people in and out. So it's a completely different way of living.
That's true.
So I would not say that a Western world has a convenient lifestyle.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion of a convenience. Yeah.
Sure. And that's something I wanted to touch on is my husband and I were talking about this last night. And part of this might even be our own faults too, because again, I'm still a Western woman that is working on, not being as isolated, individualistic in certain ways. And we were pretty much saying, with our 6-month-old son, we feel that he has received more love from random people here in Turkey than in the week or two that we've been here than our extended family, the 6 months that he's been alive. And I say that might be partially our fault, because maybe we just haven't reached out to them enough. And that doesn't go for everyone in our family. There have been people who have been very warm, but just this idea of someone that you don't even know.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, give me the baby so you can eat, like, oh, he's so cute. And just the way, I see how Alexander is with Hanom, and how, he's taken such a liking to her so quickly because she's so loving. It's just an example of someone that works here.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel that that's just shows kind of how Western society is, that we forget that connection and that love and that being able to share with
Yeah.
other people, whether it's family or not,
Yes.
is so important, and it's missing just because we're so busy
Yes.
back at home.
And it's not just busy, people are also in their head because they're thinking, well, my neighbor is driving Tesla, she's getting her second degree, or she's getting this really great job, let me get that too. And so all the women are trying to catch up to what are the neighbors doing, what is my friend doing? Oh, she's not married, she's getting her second degree, or she's getting this best job and she got this bonus and she's going to this vacation. And every woman in the masculine energy is competing with each other. And they're in the head, they don't even think, Gabriella, you have a baby. I gotta actually get some gifts and cook her a cake and help her to bake and cook for you and the husband, because the first 2 months you're just getting used to the baby and the lifestyle. That's what the feminine woman would do. She would come, your girlfriend or your neighbor or your cousin will come visit you and help you out. And that would be in the Eastern world, but not in the United States. Everybody's in their head chasing their goals, dreams that deteriorate them. And nobody even pays attention that, what is this goal? Okay, they got this goal, but what is it? Did they get happy for a day or two? And then the next goal, and then the next, and it never stops.
And like you were saying, I feel like a lot of these goals aren't really true desires for a lot of people.
Yes.
It's just because they see
Yes.
certain things and they're like, oh, I need to be
I
doing
need to
that
be doing
too.
that, yeah.
Rather than, and I even think it's been exacerbated from social media, is because
Yes.
we're constantly seeing what other people are doing.
Yes.
And there was a time, like I still remember a time where we didn't have this device attached to us 24/7.
Yes.
So I think, maybe even in the 90s and early 2000s, there was still these pressures, but I don't think they were now it's like 10, 20 times because we see it all the time, rather than just seeing your neighbor or your family member here and there that's
Yeah.
achieving certain things.
Yes.
But something that I really appreciate about this retreat is we're doing different spiritual practices. We're also talking a lot about relationships.
Yes.
And I feel that this is something that Western women struggle with a lot.
Yeah.
And I include myself in this because there's still inner conflicts. Like, just because I think certain people in my life might think, just because I'm married and now I'm staying home and stuff, that oh it's easy, you're just relaxing, you're just
It's
you're
hard
doing
work.
whatever you want. And not only is it hard work, but I'm still fighting these subconscious programs of I have to go out, I have to achieve.
Yes.
So in relationships, what do you feel is the hardest thing for a Western woman right now? Or some of the hardest concepts they're facing?
One thing immediately that kicks in, what shows up for me, is if a woman starts to, or she begins a spiritual journey, she still feels guilty that she is a stay-at-home mom, or that her husband works but she's not working because of the societal pressure. And also she feels very lonely because her girlfriends are still working and they envy or jealous, and so she feels very, very alone. So this is one side of what I see. Some women who are just starting their spiritual journey, they're battling internally, like, how do I fit in with my girlfriends in the society, but how can I also balance my life and my happiness and be in my feminine flow, where the whole society is full of masculine energy.
That's me. You just called out my situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and other women, they're just fully disconnected from themselves because they think, well, that's what everybody doing. How can I even dream about detaching from work and pursuing a motherhood and just being a stay-at-home wife? What, I cannot work? And so the amount of guilt is so enormous, and also fear. How can I let go of my career? What about my 401k? What about my degree? What about my loans? So I've wasted my time for nothing? And so this enormous fear that they failed in life. And it's not a failure. It's just we were directed in the wrong direction. We tried it. We saw that we are unfulfilled. We're deteriorating on all the levels, on emotional, on the physical, psychological level, and we just have to admit that it's not working. It's just not working. And slowly detaching, because a lot of women also thinking, I start meditation, but 6 months later I'm still attracting feminine men who are not providing, leading, and protecting. And I say, it takes time. Changes don't happen overnight. It's just one step at a time, and not having also this expectation that all of a sudden I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be feminine and I'm going to be spiritual and I'm going to meet a man who will just do everything for me. That is another extreme.